What's up, guys? It is August 3rd. It's 10:46 a.m. and this is the daily market update. So we're going to start off with the 10-year bonds. Then we'll get into the dollar, the NASDAQ 100, total crypto market cap, others, Bitcoin dominance, others dominance, Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we're going to look at the macro picture, but we'll get into the fine tuning of the charts. So for the 10-year bond, we actually broke below the horizontal yellow line. That's what we wanted to see happen, but we actually popped back up through it yesterday and into today. So we have this trend line coming down like this that will serve as a resistance level right here. Only thing is we got the stock RSI crossing up here, TSI, MACD as well too, and the buy warnings. But when we got our buy now here as a fake out, we came back down. So as long as we are below this point, then we're good. And then as long as we don't break above where I have this alert set, so around like 3.3% for the bond yields, because then we'll start taking out these local highs here, and then if we start to make higher lows, then we're changing the trend. So if like we were to break up here, hold that support, come up here, support, right, and then we even come down, it's still making a higher low from that point, and we're starting to take out these highs. So we wouldn't want that to happen. We want to see a full breakdown here. All right, so now let's go into a little bit of the shorter term. So we have a 12-hour buy now here, just like we had it right here, and we only went up a little bit more before falling down. So I could see the same thing happening here. We're below the this median line as far as the TSI goes, and when we're below the median line, we'll stay in a bearish trend. It's when we get above this median line where we start to get into bullish trends here. So we can go and scroll out and we'll see that when we're below this median line, like right here, that's when we went into this bearish trend. And until we break back above it right here, like at this point, we don't get out of that bearish trend. So we want to stay below this median line, and we want to get rejected by the trend line, and we eventually want to come back down and flip this horizontal yellow line as support to become resistance, and then go lower there. So that's what we see at that point. Let me just go to the 3-day. Yeah, 3-day. It would be great if the 3-day and the higher time frames can get below this median line, because right now they're above it. So macro look, we're bullish, but if we were to get the 3-day down here below the median line, then that'd be great. Because right here, when we went below the median line, and then we couldn't get back above here, then that's what ensued as far as a sell-off. So now let's go into the dollar. So on the 12-hour chart with the dollar, let me actually hide the indicators here, and we can see that we have similar kind of movements happening. So I'm going to grab like from here, I'll just grab this whole thing, and I'm just going to shift it up a little bit. Oh, right here, that's where it is. Okay, so we can see how this, like this price action here, it matches up here. We fall down and we form this like kind of bowl like right here, and then we go up, and then we have like a sell-off down, but we don't break below these lows, just like here. And then we have a sharp rise up like this, sharp rise up, and then we pull back down right into this trend line, long-term trend line, right? This started back in February. So we're just kind of doing the same kind of bounce up, come down to the trend line, bounce up, down the trend line, bounce up, come down to the trend line. But I do believe that we've topped in the macro kind of big picture here as far as those big signals, the 2 week, the 3 week, 1 week. If we look at it, we've already seen in the last video that those time frames have already flashed as far as sell warnings. So I don't know why it's not popping up right now. Oh, that's why I don't have the indicators on. All right, there we go. So this is the 1 week, but we're looking at the 2 week, the 3 week. So 2 week sell warnings. If we look down here, we want to see this continue to move down. Same with the 3 week as well too. So we haven't got the 1 week, the 3 week sell nows yet. but it's looking like we're almost there. We're almost there. 2 week, the same as that as well too. Let's go to the daily. So yeah, that's what I see as far as like this similar pattern playing out. So the key is that we don't break above this trend line, because right here, if we were to break above this trend line, this could happen like August 15th. So we could just bounce up and down here, but we could break out above, but it wouldn't happen probably till around like middle of August. If we take it off the Heikin-Ashi candle and I go back down to the 12-hour, yeah, we got the 12-hour buy now right here. So see how like the signals can help you figure out the fractal patterns too. Just like how right here we had flashed the 12-hour buy warning and the buy now, like right at that bottom on the trend line, we're doing that same thing right here. So if we do follow this fractal pattern, it makes sense that it wouldn't break out to like August 15th, August 16th. But as far as what we want to see, we want to stay below this green line. So let me move these and I'll hide the drawings. So we want to stay below this green line right here. It's a 50 moving average. Last time, because until we broke above the green 50 moving average, we didn't kind of break out of this pattern here. So we want to stay below. We want to get rejected by this. Well, we got above the EMA ribbon, but yeah, below here, and then we want to break back down. What we're looking at as far as retracements levels to the top here, if we do break up, we don't want to break back above like 108.50, 108.50, yeah. Because then we would start taking out these local highs, same thing as like the bonds. We want to just kind of coil up in here and then break down instead of breaking up here, because sometimes when big moves are supposed to happen, we invert. So that's what I want to see right there. That's sitting around like 107. We don't want to get back above 107. Now let's go to 8-hour. Yeah, the 8-hour as well too. So yeah, 107 is that level that we want to stay below. Now let's check these bottom indicators. And then also too, same rules apply, that if we get above the zero line, then we're breaking into a bullish pattern. If we're below the zero line, then we're going to stay bearish, because right here was when we broke above the zero line, and that ensued us breaking out. So as long as we're below here, we're bearish. But if we do break up above here, I would expect we're going to keep rallying in the dollar. But we want to just get rejected by the 108 level. That wouldn't be good. Now let's go to the NASDAQ. So the daily chart right here. I'm going to go to the 3-day. 3 days getting some heavy momentum. Same rules apply though. We need to get above that zero line. Because right back here, when we had a sell-off back in like 2018, just like kind of today, we have, yeah, it seems like it's just playing out bigger from back of 2018. So let me grab this. So that's like a smaller move, but if we stretch this out, sure, it'll give us the whole move. Would you look at that? Yep. See? So this is always repeating, like these similar patterns. So we had our first, well, we had our top, then we had our first kind of sell off, and then we had a relief rally, and then we came back down for a second bottom, and now we're starting to rise here. So we could head up to like 15,000. And if this is rising, then cryptos are likely rising as well too, because this is like the top 100 companies for stocks. When stocks are doing good, usually crypto is doing good. So the daily chart, and we got above the zero median line, so that's good as far as bullishness. And then we have a trend line coming like that we would just want to hold on this ride up. And then we had a resistance like right here that we're battling right now. So we want to break above that so we can start to really pick up momentum. We have this top to this bottom, stretch it out. Where'd we get a retracement at? 618. Okay, golden ratio. So if we take from this top to this bottom, that 618 is right up here. So we could get rejected soon if we're going to follow that similar pattern. But that's why we want to get above like 14,000, hold that support, come back down, and then start to rally up here. And then we're watching the signals as far as the sell warnings and stuff for that. The daily will probably do a good job at saying it, but we have no sell warnings right now. If we check the 12-hour, we have a 12-hour sell warning, so that's the only thing. So if we cross down here, it won't look the best. So that's what we want to look out for. We have this trend line on the RSI that we keep getting rejected by, and then we have this support line that we keep getting supported by, like this. So if we do come down here and we hold this as support, that's fine. But if we come down and we break this, that's when things start to get ugly. So we'll be watching that. Now we have the total crypto market cap. We're on the daily chart. I'm going to go to the 3-day. So we're still below this median line on the 3-day. So for the higher macro like time frames and kind of like how long will this take, we're likely to come up, maybe get here, come back down, and then go. It wouldn't be just like a straight shoot like that. So what would that look like in price? So we could come up here to like 1.3 trillion, come back down, as we said, maybe make an inverse head and shoulders. So it would be like shoulder, head, shoulder, and then around like September, October-ish, we could then have our pop up, and then at that point we'd want to get above 1.8 for sure, and then we could start talking about $4 trillion crypto market cap. But then we'd have to just hit 2.2 trillion first. But the sooner that we start taking out these local highs and keep on this higher low uptrend, the better. So let's go to the 1 day, see if we cross the median line. Yep, we're above the median line right now. It's similar looking to the stock market. We just don't want to see the cross down. We're getting close to it. And we want to stay above these median lines. The median lines, if we're above, we're bullish. If we're below, we're bearish. So that's what we're looking at for that. Let's go to the 6-hour. And we want to hold this as support, like 1 trillion. That's that psychological level. So 1 trillion we want to hold right there. And then we have our trend line coming up like this, right at the 1 trillion as well too. So yeah, 1 trillion is going to be our point. If I pull this in the shorter term, we could go down to like 960 billion and be fine. But once we start taking that out, it wouldn't look good as far as like maintaining our uptrend here in strength. But for the 6-hour, we have a stock RSI crossing up, gaining momentum. Same with the TSI, MACD. So it looks like in the shorter term, we'll keep bouncing. So others, this is others dominance or others market cap. If I go to the 3-day, same thing. I love these type of patterns though, where we have a sharp sell-off, goes sideways, we pull down, we curl up like this, because then usually, sometimes we'll pull down like that and then go, just like back here. So we had a sharp sell-off, went sideways, pulled down, curled up, but then we had another sell-off, then we went. That could be the case, or it could be the case that we just start to pull that. So that's what we're watching out for as far as that goes. But usually these things play out good because we have this trend line coming down like that. So if we're going to break out now, we want to break out soon. But if we do break down, what I'm expecting is something like that. And then we go to scare people to revisit these lows again. And then we would go at that point. So we could see this low to this high, pull it out, drawing it to a T. So yeah, it would be coming up here, coming down, and then we go. And then for that, our target is like around 215 billion, 240 billion. I'm going to go to the daily chart, 12-hour chart. 12 hours already crossed down. So we do want to see this pick back up. It could be like just a small bump in the road, just like back here, and then we go down sooner. But we're just looking at the momentum swings. So here we want to sell. If we come down here and cross up, we want to buy, and that's what we're looking out for. 6-hour. Let's see it. Yeah, so we're already down here for the 6 hours, so we're heading up. So we just want to see that pull through. Let's check the 8 hour. 8 hours looking like it wants to cross. This went from dark red to white. but it doesn't mean that it's going to sustain. So we just need to watch it close. So now Bitcoin dominance, 3-day chart. We have the 3-day buy warnings for the moment. Bitcoin dominance is headed down. We broke below this horizontal support. Now it's resistance. So if we get above 42.50% in the dominance, it's likely, all right, we're going to start rising again. At that point, we'd probably go up to around like 47%, 46% Bitcoin dominance. And at that point, we want to get rejected. If we break above, we're likely going to go to 53% dominance. But as far as the 3-day buy warnings go, once we get a 3-day buy now, then I'll likely switch some over to Bitcoin to take advantage of that pump. But we have this trend line coming down, and we're testing it. This is all dark red. We're getting below the middle line right now. This is the 5-day too. Last time we went above and then back below the middle line was right here. So we went above and then below, and then we had a brutal sell-off. If we get like the 5-day buy warnings, then we know like, all right, Bitcoin dominance might fall off a cliff. Where could it go, right? So we'll take this low to this high, stretch it out. I think if we break below this horizontal red line, we'll test like 38%, 37%. We'll come down to here. And then altcoins will do well at that time. So we want that to happen. So others dominance, we're on the daily. I'm going to go to the 3-day. So we got a 3-day buy now right at this bottom. We're peaking. We're getting close to getting above the median line. If we look at the last times, we had our 3-day buy now, got above the median line. We got out of there. We had a 3-day buy now, got above the median line. We're out of there. Now we just got our 3-day buy now. We're close to getting above the median line. And then if that's the case, we'd be out of there. Plus, it's coinciding with this trend line coming down like this. So we're at that moment. We're at that moment right now. We'll probably know by the end of the week because we'll have this low connected to that low. And yeah, we'll know within the next, 3 days. So we'll see. So daily chart right here. See rejection all through here. Now we're right at that point. We have this support coming up. And then we also have this horizontal support right here as well too, right there. And then as well as we took out these resistance levels, got above it. See how like right here, resistance, came up, broke above support, but now we're battling this. So we want to get above that. If we break above, then we can target 14% to 15%. It would likely be the 15%. We have a gap here. Usually we'll fill those gaps. So we had a gap, came down, came up. We had a gap, came down, came up. So we had a gap here, and we had a gap back here. So it's likely that we have to come down to fill it, which we did. And now we have a gap up here that we likely have to fill. So that's what it's looking like. Now, Bitcoin chart. So Bitcoin's holding the EMA ribbon right now as support. That is great. We want to see that continue. We're above the median line and the void lines right here, this purple line and the EMA ribbon. So we want to hold that as support, and we want to get above and flip it from red to green. Because last time we flipped from green to red, we went in our downtrend, flipped from red to green, we went up a little bit, but as soon as we get below it and get rejected, then we go in our downtrend. So that's what we're trying to fight the tides right now. And it looks like we're going to do it. I still believe we're going to come up to that $36,000 area, but we do have this kind of channel that we're working with of resistance support. So if we do break below this trend line, we'll come revisit these lows again. We'll see at that point, but the goal is to get above this trend line and then battle this 200-day moving average at that point. And we're above the median line right now, so that's all good. Let's go to the lower time frames, like 2 hour. So we went from green to red, but now we're flipping and trying to go from red to green. So we just want to see that continue out during the day. Yep, so last time we went from green to red. We tried to flip. So it could be an area that we're at like right here. So let me actually pull this out. And that could make sense. It lines up with the timing too. because at this point was that point right here where we had flipped from green to red, tried to get it back to green, and then we actually got rejected, came down one more time. So this can make sense as far as like us having a little bit more of a correction. We would retest this trend line, and then we'd go up again. So because support. Yeah. So maybe we're halfway through this move of correcting, and then we would end up going up again. But yeah, so that's what we're seeing there. Let me check the 15-minute real quick. So this would happen within the next hour, 2 hours if we were to fall down. We really just want to hold above like 23,000. If we break below that, then it's likely this will play out. Ethereum, we're on the daily chart. We have this trend line coming up like this that we're battling with right now. We're holding as support, but this TSI looks like it's going to cross down. Same with the stock RSI has already crossed down. And we could be pulling like one of these right now. So we have this trend line like this. We're like right at it. Resistance, and now resistance right here. So the goal definitely is to break above here. If the pink right here falls below the middle line, just like it did back here, then that's not good. We're probably going to downtrend. But this will happen within the next couple of days, so we'll know early if this is going to happen. We do want to hold if we come down here. So it would be like 1450, 1440. That's where we want to hold. If we break it, it's likely we're going to come down, retest this area right here, which was resistance. We broke above. We haven't tested it as support yet, so it's likely we'd come down to like 1250 at that point, potentially even 1150. We could come down here. So that's what we're watching on that end. If we break up here, then we would likely hit like 2000 to 2200, and that's a heavy resistance level. Especially, and as well as 1800 is a heavy resistance level. So we definitely want to flip that, because that's all this price action back here. All this price action back here of 2021 of resistance, support, broke down. Now we're touching as resistance. That's why it's so critical to get above 1800 and then definitely 2000 for sure. So that's what I see as far as Ethereum goes. That's what we want to watch out for. Definitely going to be some moves happening by the end of this week in the next couple of days. So just keep an eye on the Discord and we'll be on top of it. So that's it, guys. I'll see you in the Daily T.